You are listening to Roots and Rise with Kels and Madi.
Rooted in wisdom, rising together. It's easy to start with parenting.
Okay, let's go in with the obvious. What I said I would never do. I remember literally writing a letter to my mom saying, I am never going to yell at my kids. I am never going to yell the way that you yell at me. I can't believe that you would do this. Blah, 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 blah. I yelled so violently at Keller once that my voice was gone for 3 days. And I called in an emergency therapy session because I thought I had scarred her for life. Respectfully, she tried to strangle Sailor. And she was like shoving her face into a blanket. I had turned around for 1 second and there it was happening. And I was very hormonal and probably having some mental issues that day. We were lacking sleep. There could have been a million things. Mm-hmm. When I say I let out a roar that only a lion in the Saharan desert, do lions live in the Saharan desert? Who's to say?
Saharan.
Saharan?
Is it Saharan or Sahara?
Sahara? The Sahara.
Sahara?
Desert.
I don't know.
The Sahara okay, whatever. I'm like,
not the point.
There's a lion somewhere. I let out a massive roar. And it was like, you could just feel it from like the depths of your soul.
But also, did she ever do that again?
Nope, never did.
Here's something you don't know before you have kids. There's 2 types of yells, okay? Actually, there's 3. One is life-saving. It is always okay. You got to save a life. You got to scream. You got to put the fear of death in them.
Fear of death.
And that is, you're given that scream.
Yeah.
2 is, which I experience a lot, you have to scream to be heard because your house is a freaking zoo. I'm like, listen to me. I lost my voice for a couple of days and there was no point to me existing. It was just lost all control. They're like, mama. Anyway, the third one is like, I need to chill out. Like, there's the mean, like,
it's that. Do you know that meme where she's like, I need to calm down. I'm an adult. Have you seen that video?
No, but
on Instagram,
yes.
I'm gonna send it to you. Where she's like, stop, and she's like screaming, and then she's like, wait a minute, I need to calm down.
Yeah,
I'm an adult, and there's that moment.
one.
Yes.
There's that where you're like, I need to put on my big girl panties. There's that one, and that's where you have to like check yourself because the other 2, they're allowed.
They're allowed.
But before you have kids, you're like, that mom was so mean to their kid in the parking lot. I'm like, yeah, they probably like stuck a chapstick they didn't pay for up their nose. Like, you don't know what's going on.
Honestly, they probably did way worse than that.
You know what I mean, though?
Gosh,
like,
yes.
You just don't even know.
Well, honestly, this is the thing that I did not know. Like, you don't realize that sleep deprivation is literally used as a torture device.
And there you get a lot of it.
And the amount of sleep deprivation a mom has to experience is so like violent to the body and to the mind. It does crazy things.
Crazy.
And so a part of me thinks that's everything.
That has a
everything
lot to do with it.
You know? But that's the first thing that came to mind when I was like, oh, I'm never going to do that. And then right out the gate, here we go.
I know one of mine was like, and I did really good with this when I had 2 and I had a lot of extra time. I was like, oh my God, McDonald's is dog food. Like,
yep. Oh yeah.
It's so bad. Why would I feed that to my children? It doesn't even mold. Listen, some nights we go into McDonald's
and there is just not a thing you can do.
And that's going to preserve their bodies to be 150 years old.
Y'all, we both have children that you can see the bones in their bodies. Like that, to get them to eat is like, it's a taxing thing.
They don't stop moving. So I'm like, if you're going to down all those calories, that's fantastic.
Let's go.
And
it's like, but like I have a child where she was doing a roll this morning, like and I was like, you look like a prisoner of war, Keller Grace Paul. You look like I can see and I'm just like, granted, I remember I was exactly like that, and I would eat like a truckload of food. She just. It's a whole challenge. I thought that I was going to be the same way.
And I feel like when I was in early motherhood, I was very rigid with those types of things. Like what my children ate regularly was an indication of how much I loved them.
Yep.
But sometimes my kids do eat a balanced Like we cook home dinners, it's not like we're getting McDonald's every single night and they're, having health struggles, but like, it's okay. Sometimes I have too many glasses of wine. I'm going to be all right. Like sometimes you can put something, your body can handle it every once in a while, and no shade. No shade. Sometimes you got to go get dinner with a toy so you don't have to clean up the kitchen and they have something to do when you're done.
Oof.
Okay,
another thing.
Yeah.
What I said I would never do.
What?
I said I would never give screens to my kids in order to function in public.
Yeah.
That went down the toilet pretty quickly.
Yeah. No.
I would judge so hard before I had kids.
Oh,
Parents
would you?
that had phones or tablets with their kids in public. And here's my deal. I am still really resistant to the iPad because my daughter has the same personality I have. And when you take the thing away from her, she acts like a caged animal.
If she gets like really upset about the removal of it, then it's
just like that. Like she acts insane. But we're planning our trip to Disney, and I'm like,
you need it for travel.
We're gonna have to need it. Yeah, because it's like, otherwise we don't live in a world that we used to live in, where I used to walk like on a plane. I'd walk up and down the aisles, and I would talk to people. And I would get their life story when I was 3 or 4.
I believe this.
I would also ask for their snacks, and I would, like also
people
be
would
like,
be so annoyed nowadays.
Well, they would probably I could get sent to jail or something for doing something like that. Or I don't even know what the rules are anymore, but I can assure you it is not the same world where you just let your kid.
Everybody wants your kid to be quiet and look at a screen. They want to judge you while they're doing it, but if your kid were loudly crying or laughing or talking, they'd be like, get that kid, shut up, I'm trying to nap.
You know what's weird is I don't want to bring my kid anywhere in public now because I want her to be screen free, but I also can't risk her being like in a public space acting a dang fool. I took her into a space where there were live lobsters being sold, and she tried to climb the case of lobsters to get into the aquarium, and the person working there was like, what are you doing? I was like, well, she's not gonna be successful. She almost was. So then I
and you're like, oh, JK.
But I was like, she's not gonna pull it down or anything. I mean, she's fine. And they were like,
they're like, no, ma'am.
They were like, you need to control your child. And I was like, well, I mean, okay. I was like, I remember doing the same thing at grocery stores. I tried to get into their lobster thing.
You're like, oh, apple tree. I used to judge so hard people that use leashes on their kids, and I'm like, that's genius.
Do you know my kid took the leash off of herself
Your kid had a leash?
2? I took her to Wisconsin for a funeral, and she took the leash, unclicked it. This is right before she turned 2. I was very pregnant with Sailor. She took the leash. We were at an airport. We were in Chicago. She took the leash, she unclipped it, and then she was like, ah, and like screamed and ran. And I was like, so that didn't work.
Okay, bye.
Didn't work. I was like,
that is so funny.
We tried.
Yeah, not even the leash could hold that one back.
So I actually am buying a bunch of air tags from Sam's Club, and I'm going to put them in all of their shoes in the event that they ran away.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I scare my kids really bad. I'm like, if you leave me, someone will steal you, and you will never see me again because I can't save you if I can't see you.
I actually have told Keller the same thing. I'm like, if I can't see you,
someone
you may never see me again.
Take you. Period.
But I will tell you, my mom gave the best advice when it came to, she was bold.
Yeah,
okay? She was a very,
it.
very bold woman. And she was like, if you ever get into a situation where it's death or the van, pick death. You know where you're going. Don't pick the van. Do not pick that van. And I was like, and it put this thought, like, it actually put a really empowering feeling into like, you can't scare me enough to make me do what you want me to do.
Yeah.
She was like, if you run away and you run in zigzags, the chances are high that they won't be able to completely catch you. I mean, if you throw them off, and she was giving me like really good advice on just, I thought it was good. I'd like to hear some of y'all's thoughts who are listening.
That's a good fact of life as a woman. Zigzag.
Zigzag it out. And don't get in that van.
Don't get in that van. Don't get in that van. Bite.
But then again, my mother she passed away before Uber was a thing. And now she's like, you're getting into cars of strangers all that. What are you thinking?
I know, it's so scary.
Isn't that weird? I don't actually use Uber or Lyft very frequently. So
I never do it by myself.
Yeah, you just never know. And honestly, I can't imagine that my rating is very high. I don't think anybody wants me in their
I've never looked at mine.
Okay, what's another thing?
We've spiraled.
Yes, of course. We knew we would.
We started talking about running away when you're getting
Kidnapping.
abducted.
Yep.
What else? Advice as a mom.
No, like the things you said you would never do, but you did anyway.
Oh my God, I can't stay on track.
I know, it's fine.
The things I said I would never do, but I did anyway. What?
Check to see if it's poop or chocolate. Have you done that?
I have always been smart enough to sniff the outside of a butt.
You're telling me that you're
I have not stuck my finger in a doo-doo diaper.
No, I mean like it being on your finger or on your clothes.
Oh. Yeah, no, I haven't assumed ever that it was chocolate.
I have. I've looked at the couch and been like, that is either mud, dirt, poo, or chocolate.
Did you lick it?
It got to a point.
I don't like it. You have to think about it.
It was very near and dear to the nose, and I was just like, it was either a dirt
Or a really old piece of duty.
or a really old dew, and I couldn't figure out if it was dew because we have a lot of manure in the backyard now that we've got a bunch of compost.
yeah.
So I was like, dirt or poo or both. I didn't lick it because it obviously wasn't
That's
chocolate.
good. That's
I
good.
have had it on my hand, and I gave it one of those, and I was like,
Actually, you know what? I have had it on my shirt before and not known and been like walking around all day. I'm like, what is that smell? Why do I keep smelling poop?
and it's you.
And then it was
You had poop
literally
on you.
duty on my shirt from who knows? Like
I've gotten real close to. I haven't licked the poo, but
sometimes your brain turns off and you're just like, wait, why did I lick that? I mean, I haven't done that, but I can see how it happens.
I eat a lot of food off the floor. Does that count?
It's definitely got some fecal matter.
For sure.
For sure.
Keeping that bio.
That's a good one. We're staying healthy over here,
Staying
keeping our
really
bodies
good.
on their toes.
Keep moving on.
What else did I say I would never do maybe let's even just say in life. What's something I said I would never do that I do now? I feel like there's a lot, but now that I'm on the spot, I'm like, nothing. I'm perfect.
What about waking up early? Did you ever think?
I have woken up early since I was out of the womb.
That's insane.
Like I used to get up in high school and like run at 6 a.m. for 2 days.
Out of your mind.
I've always loved the morning.
I only get up because I love you.
Oh, that's even better.
And I just love the Garage Gals. I think
I
they're
know,
the best
it's
people on
so
earth.
awesome. What else have I never...
I'm motivated by them.
I don't know. You go.
Okay. I said that I was never going to really embrace the moo and granny panty. And I have 1000% embraced the moo and granny panty.
The granny panty is like it.
And quite frankly, I have absolutely no space in my heart for people that can't get on board with that. Like I really don't have space.
I have a lot of questions about like when I wore really cute panties, I wasn't wearing them for me.
For real, for real.
And in my life right now, I need some cotton breathable comfort.
Amen.
That's
and guess
for
what?
me.
My husband is 1000% uninterested in
what
lingerie because he's like, it's coming off.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Let's not bother with that.
I just feel like
an
we're in
appetizer
the
to a massive
era
meal.
of like, let's focus on the health benefits. Something that's smushing you up and not breathable. That's a recipe for disaster.
It's a polyester on the booty, and I'm not here for it.
Not here
Just get
for
off.
it.
Just get off. I would say the moo too. I think a moo is hot, and I'll tell you why.
You have to have a specific body for it.
I do not have the breasts.
No,
but
you need to not have breasts for a moo.
You think?
Because if you do it makes you look bigger.
There are some, but see, there's two influencers on Instagram. They've got curves for days. Their moo life they're living their moo life.
Is it
and
gonna
they're
go in
hot.
right here?
No, I mean like
just a
I'm
big
gonna send
moo-moo.
them to you. I'm
Okay.
gonna actually, you know what? When we launch this episode, I'm gonna link these people, and I don't want anyone to let me forget. These two women, one of them, I think her name is May or something. She is either in Kentucky or something else, but she bakes, and she's the hottest woman I've ever seen in my life.
It's so interesting you're saying this because my mom and sister and I were just together this weekend and we had the exact same conversation of like,
About moo-moos.
we called them caftans because that sounds way better.
The moo-moos.
Yeah.
I think moo-moos are cute. Like little
Moo
moo-moo.
sounds like a cow. Kaftan sounds like I'm going to saunter around in here.
A kaftan.
There's our 15-minute timer.
It's like virgin.
So anyway, we were talking about how like kaftan, it's going to be a kaftan girl summer.
I mean,
Oh my gosh, it's going to be a kaftan girl summer.
let's make it a thing. I'm going to wear my kaftan
Yeah.
and my big floaty shoes. My big puffin shoes. So I'm going to look like a kaftan puffin.
I'm into it.
The kaftan puffin summer.
Well, okay, we're going to get matching kaftans.
Go.
I've got the best.
I love when you get like an idea. Go.
This is the advice we're going to leave you on.
Yeah.
This is not something I said I'd never do. This is something that just is a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do not let politics or business ever get in the way of a friendship.
Oh, that's really good. I love that. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Because no.
Yeah.
No. You know your friends. You know who they are.
It goes back to the episode that we just recorded, is I think that when you follow your truth, when you follow what is authentic and what is true for you, same goes for music.
Yeah.
Same goes for music.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to fake who you are.
You don't
Because
need
you're
to
gonna
fake
find
who
your
you
tribe.
are.
You're gonna find your people.
You can have a difference of opinion or views on something with somebody, and neither of you can be wrong.
I feel that.
And you don't have to hate
However, one day we will get into the weeds when we feel a little bit more comfortable because, y'all, I've got some opinions. I'm unafraid to share.
Mm-hmm.
I think I respectfully am a little bit more, I would say, on the progressive end, only because I'm optimistic, right? And the eternal optimist struggles with wanting the ideal, right? And so I always dream of one day we all just magically are beautifully getting along and loving one another equally and blah, 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 blah. That being said, I also have a realistic mindset, and I know that there is really, that exists really in heaven. It exists in heaven. But Maddie has given me this advice before, and it's the best advice I've been given in a long time, which is, we try to, especially when we look at this from a worldview, we would look at this from our faith view, we look at the whole world, and it becomes overwhelming. So let's just look at our neighbor. Let's just look to the right and to the left of us to see where we can serve and where we can love. I wish everybody took that perspective.
Yeah.
It occasionally can get very heavy when we get into the weeds. But we just encourage you guys to love your neighbor as you would love as you love yourself. Isn't that the verse?
Yeah, I think so. And I always like to take it a step further. Love your neighbor as you would love your children.
Ooh.
Because I love my children more than I love myself on every level. And in God's eyes, they're all equal.
You're challenging me because I don't love anything as much as I love my kids. I definitely don't love myself as much as I love my kids.
No, none of us do. Well, I mean, I guess some people do, but
you might need to call us.
That's another episode.
You might need to call us if that's you because there's some questionable.
There's some trauma there. But but yeah, love your neighbors as you love your children. And that's all we got.
That's all we got for now. There's more to come now.
Love
Watch
ya.
out. Love ya.